culture. Classic pop culture.
Hi everybody, this is Steve Ludwig, host of Steve Ludwig's Classic Pop Culture and the Beatles Hour with Steve Ludwig, both at planetludwig.com. Here's an interview we did with Joe Mandica and Stephanie Angelini, originally broadcast May 4th, 2017, from show number 123. If you'd like to hear the entire show with additional songs, please go to planetludwig.com and check out the menu. And now, please enjoy the interview.
Where have all the good times gone? It's funny how it seems so long since I've seen you. Where did all those good times go? Walking with you down the road, running to keep out the cold. Can you see it? Where did all those good times go? And it's so nice to see your face. Don't blink twice, cause it might erase. And it's so wild, it almost seems like a dream. Never thought I'd let you go. Why I did, well, I don't know. Got me reaching, but where did all those good times go? Wow! It's so nice to see your face, but don't blink twice, cause it might erase. And it's so wild, it almost seems like a dream. I'm funny, but it's time to go. Nice of you to say hello, cause I missed you since I let those good times go. Yes, I missed you since I let those good times go.
From the 2007 release, 1,000 Miles by Joe Mandica, the question, where did all the good times go? Well, the answer is that the good times have come to classic pop culture by way of Melbourne, Australia, because the new music that we're going to hear from Joe Mandica and Stephanie Angelini is going to blow you away. Now, we've had the pleasure and the good fortune of having Joe Mandica visit our show on past occasions, and we couldn't be happier that he's back. And this time around, joining him is the incredible singer who flawlessly interprets Joe's and Preston Glass's lyrics with her angelic voice, Miss Stephanie Angelini. Stephanie and Joe, welcome to Classic Pop Culture.
Hello, thank you. How are you, Steve?
I'm doing very, very well. How's Melbourne?
It is currently very cold.
Really? Okay.
Although probably not as cold as you guys get it there in New York, I have to say.
Well,
I've never been. Joe, you've been recently, so you can vouch for that.
Yeah, it was minus numbers.
Yeah. it was below level for sure.
Below level,
right
yeah.
now it's actually kind of muggy out, so we're doing okay. And I want our listeners to know, I guess you guys are about 16 hours ahead of me in time. I'm speaking with you, and I want to thank you both for having a quick breakfast. And it's 9 a.m. by you as we record this. It's about 7 p.m. here. So I'm actually the night before. So, Stephanie, I'll ask you the question I always ask Joe. Being you're ahead of me 16 hours, how did my night go?
I think you did pretty well.
Good.
Steve.
All right.
I think you had a pretty good sleep ahead of you.
I like the sound of that, Stephanie. Okay. So I'm all ready to go.
I promise there will be a tomorrow.
Good. One day at a time is fine with me.
That's it.
So listen, Stephanie, how did you and Joe have this collaboration? How'd you hook up with Joe? How'd you meet? Why don't you give us the whole story?
Yeah, so with Joe, it happened about probably a year and a half ago where I was singing at an Italian club, and a good friend of Joe actually came up to me and she said, "Oh, you should sing with this person." And I said, "Oh, okay." So she got my details down and then passed them on to Joe. And then Joe had a gig and he invited me along. And it just kind of went from there. And ever since, we've been doing some gigs here and there together. And then it came to New Year's Eve, and we did the big New Year's Eve ball just recently, leading into 2017. And after that, that's when he had asked me if I was interested in singing the 10 songs that Joe and Preston wrote together. And I haven't looked back since.
I'll tell you. Well, first of all, I mean, when you sang New Year's Eve, that must have been a party atmosphere. That must have been a great crowd.
I'll tell you what, Steve, it was one of the best gigs I've ever had, and they were a really good crowd. They danced all night, and I love that. I love it. I love it when they all dance and they have a bit of a sing-along. It makes the night a lot enjoyable, a lot of fun.
I'm sure, and you've got to get that rush on stage, huh? Both of you, really.
Yeah, all the time. It's great.
Yeah, it's great.
So, Joe, I mean, Preston Glass is a legendary producer in the world of music.
Yeah, he's done a few things.
Yeah, a few. Why don't you? Can you give for those of our listeners who might not, for some reason, be aware of all of Preston Glass's great accomplishments, let us know some of the things he's done, and how did you guys hook up, you and Preston?
Okay. Well, yeah, you're right about Preston. He's the role of writer and producer. A lot of people don't always know who's behind a lot of big hit records, but he's got at least 10 or 12 songs that have gone to the #1 spot in the Billboard charts.
Incredible,
It's been associated, either written, co-written, or produced. Artists come to name Natalie Cole, Whitney Houston, Aretha Franklin, Earth, Wind and Fire, Kenny G, I'm trying to think, Lionel Richie.
Yeah.
Now,
So you're saying a few one-hit wonders, Joe.
Well, yeah. Now, obviously, very indifferent. Now, some albums he produced on, some albums he wrote on, some albums he actually wrote the actual song that went to #1. But look, so many people, and it's just endless. And he's worked with great artists as well as like the Temptations, and some Little Anthony. So many. George Benson, of course, was another artist. Look, I'm just top of my head reading and thinking about it. So very much, at the top of his game. People know that song, Whitney Houston's "How Will I Know," or "I Want to Dance with Someone." If you hear that synthesized keyboard at the start, that's him playing that. So sometimes people then connect with that because they've probably heard that song 1,000 times or at their party or whatever. So, so until I met him a couple of years ago, I had no idea that he was involved in so many of these songs that we hear, as we say, Steve.
It's one of those people, Joe, where you read the liner notes or the credits, and all you see is Preston Glass, Preston Glass, Preston Glass.
Yeah.
So, it's incredible.
Like
all
Steve,
the things he's done.
I collect stuff from records, and sometimes I'm looking through albums, and I've turned the back cover, and there's his name, and I've probably seen it 1,000 times, never realised that was him, because I didn't know him. But anyway, so that's who he is, and he's still very relevant in the industry. Obviously, that was the big peak in the 90s. Obviously, with that all those artists being at the top of their game, but he's still very much involved, still very highly respected. And we met him a couple of years ago on our trip over to Los Angeles, and basically he liked some of the work that he heard on the Initiative album. He liked the writing, he liked the arrangements. And he thought maybe we could do something good together. So a project was started way back then, and it got to a certain level, and then it stalled. And now we've kicked it off again with Stephanie driving at the moment, and she's picked up those songs and just taken them to another level.
Well, I want to tell the listeners we're gonna give them two teasers, two songs from the upcoming. It's the songs of Preston Glass and Joe Mandica will be the name of the album. Have we decided on that, or
no? There's no title at the moment,
okay.
Steve. But at the moment the songs are in the final stage. They've been mixed, and obviously we're waiting to see what format they'll come out on. But you'll be the first to know, Steve. We'll give you an exclusive. We've released a Secret Smile only just as a teaser because Stephanie performed it live and that video went around, so we've been plugging that. But for you today, we're going to also let you have a sneak of the song called "I'm In."
2 songs.
Double the pleasure. No, really. I mean, I'm honored that you're going to allow us to play 2 songs for our listeners.
We're honored to be on your show, Steve.
Well,
yeah.
It's mutual. It's the feeling is mutual. You know, Stephanie, I've spoken to Joe about this in the past. And you, when you came to Los Angeles here in America, you know, the internet has made the world such a small place. It really has.
Yeah.
Did you find any differences between America and Australia? Besides the accents?
Yeah. Besides the accents. You know what? I didn't come across one Australian there in LA when I actually went.
Wow. Now, that is unusual, especially for LA.
Yeah.
It's a melting pot of tourists and people from all over. Yeah.
Yeah, I was really shocked. But I think, look, I only went to LA and it was only for a week in March. So I actually didn't get to see the whole of America. I wish I could. But I think in some ways it is a little bit different, especially LA to Melbourne. I know the traffic, that is the number one biggie for me in LA. We were stuck in traffic all the time, weren't we, Joe? It was pretty insane, yeah. I mean, look, Melbourne does have its times where it's quite busy. However, during the day it eases up, but there in LA it's just every single hour.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I think definitely the vibe is different from Melbourne to LA. I found going through, you know, Hollywood Boulevard and whatnot, for it to be very lively, very very touristy. Whereas Melbourne, it just feels like a normal city, I guess you could say. Just very,
a little more laid back, perhaps.
Yeah, laid back. That's probably the right word to use. Yeah. And you guys have bigger cars for some reason.
Well, some Americans do, Stephanie. You're preaching to a former teacher here, so I don't know about a big car on this end, but I'm happy as can be, especially with you guys on this show here. I don't know. Well, Joe, I met you through Jeff Brown, a mutual friend of ours, Joe. And it's
Jeff, because you know he's always got to mention somewhere.
I'm telling you, it's like the six degrees of Jeff Brown. You know, everyone has some kind of connection with Jeff Brown.
I know he wouldn't be happy if we didn't give him a plug. So hello, Jeff.
Hi,
hey, Jeff. We love you, Jeff. And you know, Stephanie, I wanted to tell you, it's funny. I was either speaking with Jeff in person when he visited the U.S. or, you know, via Facebook. But I asked Jeff, so, you know, what kind of TV shows do you get in Australia? And he said, what TV shows do you watch? And I told him, he goes, we get exactly the same TV shows. And I don't know, like a naive, ignorant nut, I'm thinking, well, you know, of course Australia gets every show we get because it's, you know, it's so when I asked you, you know, what's the difference between the U.S. and Australia, I thought to myself, you know, that might be a very stupid question because, like I said, especially with the internet, the world has gotten so much smaller and cozier. But so excuse my ignorance with that question, Stephanie. Okay.
That's all right.
So listen, you know, we've teased the audience about these 2 songs. Let's talk about the first of the 2 we're going to listen to, "A Secret Smile." Now, Stephanie, when you sing the lines, "I love you, I need you, I want you," I mean your breathless delivery perfectly conveys the feeling of yearning, of hope, maybe even uncertainty. When you interpret a song, what method do you use? How'd you come up with that beautiful delivery?
That's a very, very good question. Look, I think I take each line of a song very differently. I take each song very, very differently. And we worked quite closely with all these songs that we recorded in LA. And I guess something magic just happens in the studio, and I think that's definitely what happened there in LA. And I'm quite in tune with my emotions already, so I think it was quite easy for me to portray that emotion and to convey it and to have the audience listen to it the way I want it, I guess, to be delivered. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, it makes sense, sure.
Yeah, so I think at the end of the day, I just take it a step at a time. I take it a song at a time, a lyric at a time, even a word at a time. And I just really try and emphasize parts where I feel it's important. Or, for example, like this chorus, that's the main, I guess, climax of the song.
Yeah.
And that's where I wanted a lot of the emotion to be in. So that's what happened there, yeah.
Well, listen, I have more to say about the song, but why don't we listen to it now, and then we'll get back, and I'm going to put on my lab coat, and I'm going to dissect it even more, okay?
Good idea.
Okay, here is, by Preston Glass, Joe Mandica lyrics, beautiful vocalization by Stephanie Angelini, A Secret Smile.
A secret smile, I had to look the other way. I could not find the words to say. I wanted to leave and walk away. Then by surprise I heard you say, I love you, I need you, I want you, despite all the drama I put you through. And then you kissed my lips, and my heart began to drift. The smile in your eyes so alluring, but it was your kiss reassuring. Forget the past and try to love again. I feel so free, just like a child. The meaning of your secret smile has been revealed, and now it's clear. Now I know the words to say to you. Deep in your eyes I see the truth, so let me whisper in your ear. I love you, I need you, I want you, despite all the drama I put you through. I want to kiss your lips, once again feel my heart drift. The smile in your eyes so alluring, but it was a kiss reassuring. I want to start anew here tonight. Despite all the drama I put you through, I want to kiss your lips, once again feel my heart drift. The smile in your eyes so assuring, but it was your kiss so alluring. I want to start anew here tonight.
Stephanie, I have to tell you, the there are so many things that you do so incredible in this song, but your voice inflections, even on single words, I mean, it's just like I guess you answered my question before the song. You tend to go kind of line by line when you decide how you're going to interpret a song.
Absolutely, yeah. It's the way I guess I like to do things. And I mean, for example, if it was more of a poppy, upbeat tune, I just give it a general vibe, a fun vibe. But with something like this, there's a story behind it. And the way I look at it, this person and another person, or a love interest in their life, they're doing a bit of give and take right now. And I wanted to, convey it like that. So
there is a line, that sticks out with me too. Forget the past and try to love, and I'm not going to sing it, but you kind of really bring it home with the word again,
Yeah.
And then you're back to your vulnerable breath, and I said to myself, that is so indicative of what love is like. You're up, you're down, you're up, you're down. I'm gonna, this is gonna be the greatest love ever, and then you have your doubts, and you have just communicated that so brilliantly with your vocals.
Oh, thank you, thank you so much. I think that's the whole part of the story of the song, or the whole main crux of it is that kind of emotion that you have just said, and it's that give and take, and it's that feeling between two people, and they think they can make it, and then they don't, and then they think they can make it again, and they don't, and they really want to. It's all about having faith, I think, in this song, and I think it came out pretty good. One of my favorites.
Yeah, as mine too. And Joe, when you wrote this with Preston Glass, it's such a universal. Everyone has experienced love, the heartbreak of love, the ecstasy of love. What was it like working with Preston, Joe?
Oh, it was terrific. I mean, we worked, the way we did the songs was a collaboration, and obviously, I come up with an idea and he come up with an idea, and then we try and fit it together, which, I hadn't done a lot of that kind of style of writing before. To actually think, well, what's the other musical collaborator going to come up with, or where can this person go with? But it just worked so well on all the songs. In this one here, I mean, we're not Lennon and McCartney, but I mean they're my favourites. But it's like if you listen to We Can Work It Out, you know the story, Steve, where Paul's going, try to see it my way. It's all, and then John comes in, life is very short. And, there's that contrast. And this is exactly what happened here, where the start of the song is, this person a little bit in doubt and a little bit, wondering and hoping and vulnerable. Is that the word? And then Preston comes in with the, that line of I love you, I need you, I want you. And, and it's like the contrast that works well. And then after that little section, it goes back to reality. It's like those little movies you watch where you go into a dream sequence. And the reality is back to, well, is there a chance here? And as you said, Steve, I think so many people can connect to that kind of story, even if it's not a love story, just in any manner. And you don't think of that when you're writing it, but you do realise it later when you get someone that actually has then the ability to perform and deliver. Well, perform is one thing, but to deliver a song, and Stephanie just sort of captured that delivery. As I say, the difference between making a recording and making a record. A recording is one thing, but making a record, which is like something that's very, very unique, and I get, I love hearing it. And so many people so far, not many people have heard it, just a select few, and now of course Stephanie's performed it a couple of places. Everybody gets very emotional when they hear that song, and I think it's like, for the reason you said, the connection.
It's destined to be a classic. It really, really is. It's just it's going to be.
Sounds classic to me.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. I can also see this on a Broadway stage, as well as the second song I'm going to listen to in a little bit. I picture, just the heroine, or the girl who's the woman who's going through this, kind of walking to the side of the stage in the front, sitting down, wistfully thinking. It's just, oh my gosh, it's just really wonderful. It really is.
It's 3 minutes or whatever it is of pure escapism,
and that electric guitar. Can I just say?
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, gives me goosebumps every time I hear it.
Joe, I am a sucker, as you know. I think I've mentioned this to you in our past interviews. I'm a sucker for the sitar as well. And my gosh, you're crying sitar, right, Stephanie? It's oh my gosh, it just all comes together. The vocals, the instrumentation. It's
Well,
that's another part of the collaboration with Preston. That was actually his suggestion. I played that riff on an acoustic guitar, and then he had one of these sitar. I didn't actually use a sitar, but it's an electric guitar. It's built in the 70s and used on songs like Hooked on a Feeling. Many songs have used it. He had one, and he said, "Have you ever played one of these?" And I said, "Like, wow, can I play it?" And you play it exactly like a guitar, but it sounds like a sitar.
Wow.
And that's how I played those melodies. And of course, like you say, that takes me back to Norwegian Wood and those songs that we love with the sitar. And it made that song all of a sudden go to another level. The atmosphere of it. It changed the atmosphere of the song with that sitar.
Yeah. As did Preston Glass's. Didn't he play an Eastern flute on this, I believe, and a cello?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, that's right. And there's an instrument on there which I don't. Oh God, I think it's called an ubu or something. It looks like some kind of vase that you stick some flowers in, right? But you hold it soft. You hold it sideways, and the percussionist, Ricardo, he taps it on the end of it, and the other part is obviously the whole, and that sound produces like you hear the noises, this sort of like an acoustically type drone thing. But lots of interesting instruments on there, which gave that song a real, I suppose even eerie type.
That's the right word to use. Yeah.
Stephanie, forgive me if this is a rhetorical question, but when you have your headphones on and you're listening to the instrumentation, does that even give you more inspiration with your delivery?
Yes, absolutely. I remember hearing the song for the first time and I'm thinking to myself, oh my gosh, I can do so much with this song. And I still hear it today and goosebumps everywhere. And I remember hearing it back in the recording studio and just about to deliver my vocals, and it puts you into this place, and all these emotions start coming back.
I agree with you. I mean, with you, not how you felt, but with your explanation of the feeling one gets listening to it. It's just incredible. Joe, I don't. I'm sorry, Stephanie.
No, it's all good.
When I interrupt you, Stephanie, just say, Ludwig, shut up, please.
Ludwig, shut up, please.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. My goodness, how rude.
You're too sweet.
No. Joe, I know you can't speak for Preston Glass, Joe, but what's it like when someone like Stephanie brings your lyrics to life as they do? I mean, I'd have constant goosebumps.
Yeah. There's various stages of experiences and emotions. The initial run-through stages, then you work on it, and the emotional stages of getting it before you actually do the performance, and right down to the final performance in the studio. We're working at the same time, so you get into that work mode and you're busy, but there's that moment where you just stop. It's like stop traffic, hang on a second, and it just pulls you up. It's like someone's just grabbed you and say, hold it, and just take a listen. And that's where it gets quite emotional when I'm hearing someone else singing, lyrics that I wrote. And with all my songs, there's usually some kind of reality in there. I've usually written about some experience, something that's happened. And then there's that little bit of, then taking it into the general, because, I know how I feel it, but I want everyone else to interpret it their way, which is the magic, I think, when someone hears a song and they say, I like it because it reminds me of, my holiday down in whatever. I'll say, no, it's not about a holiday at all. It's about, when I went on a train ride. But I don't care. As long as, you got something out of it that's obviously taking you somewhere. I wanted to take you somewhere. So, look, the answer is it's very emotional to hear that. Then you get past that and you start to enjoy it as a performance. And then you get really, wow, did I actually write that? I can't. You get to that point where you're actually knocking yourself in the head, saying, "Wow, I can't believe we got to this point." How it started out as a little thing on an acoustic guitar or a piano, or sometimes just walking down the street, an idea pops in your head, and to get it to that finished result. And I've been really fortunate, Steve, with all the stuff and you've heard the initiative
Yeah,
I've
I definitely want to talk to you about that in a couple of minutes as well.
Yeah, I've been fortunate with all the songs and all the singers, and right up until today, it's definitely been the most recent, that they all deliver these songs. They take on the songs. They become the character in the song. And what more could I ask for, really? You know?
And, Joe, Stephanie, I guess you found this out. Not just from speaking with you, I can say the same thing about you, Stephanie. You're both very humble people.
Thank you.
But you guys are just your humbleness is attractive. But I hope deep down you guys know how great you both are. Although you'll never admit it, but I'm telling you guys, you're both don't want to say craftsmen, but craftspeople in what you do, and it's really appreciated as a listener. Both what you've both given us, and Preston Glasses too, and all the people that worked on these songs. As a music lover, it's just the appreciation can't be expressed enough by me.
Oh, thank you
thanks,
so
Steve.
much, Steve.
That means a lot.
Yeah, it's really nice to hear.
It means a lot what you give us as well.
Thank
I
you.
explained to Stephanie before a few weeks ago when introducing you. I said Steve's the kind of guy I said that is a music lover. He loves all music, all genres, and has done it all his life. So whenever Steve gives me a critique, it's something I take very, very much to my heart. I really appreciate your feedback because I know that you really appreciate music.
Oh, music is to be shared and appreciated, and the universal. Yeah, if I could speak, it would help also. But universality is what I'm trying to say. Sounds something like that, but it just brings so many people together. You can't just poo-poo music and songs up. You got to get into them and really share them with people. And to be able to talk to two artists like yourself, it's such a thrill for me.
Thank you.
Joe, I want to get back to this songwriting, just another part of the question. But before that, we started off the show with a song, Where Did All the Good Times Go, from your 1,000 Miles CD. We mentioned the initiative. This might be a good time for those who might be hearing you for the first time. I can't imagine that. But for those who maybe haven't caught your show when you've been on here, please tell us some of your musical history. You've been involved with so many fantastic musical projects. Could you take a few minutes to bring us up?
Yeah, thanks for asking, Steve. Yeah, I'm happy to do that. Look, music's been my life. I've always been involved and playing guitar at the age of 8 and basically just wanted to play guitar. And I remember Mum telling me that I had to sing because the guitarist stands at the back. And you need to sing so that you can be at the front and heard. And I'm looking like, no, I don't want to sing. I want to play guitar. But it sort of happens that I end up getting out front and singing. And I ended up with a voice that has got a certain sound. I mean, I'm not the greatest vocalist, but at the end of the day, I learned a long time ago that it's not about how well you are as a vocalist; it's how well you deliver a song. Mm-hmm. So I seem to connect with people.
Bob Dylan, perfect example.
Yeah, well,
he's got his style, but I don't know if his vocal. That was silly. I'm not putting you on the level of Bob Dylan as a singer, Joe. What I'm saying is, it's the delivery of everything.
Let me tell you a quick story, please.
Sure.
When I was about 13 or 14, I think I was at high school. We did a recording with my first band, and we were able to use the studio at the school with a 4-track. We're very excited. And
big time.
We wrote a song at that age, and we recorded it, and we were so excited. When you do your first one and you're playing it to everybody on a cassette. And I went down to our local shopping centre in Moonee Ponds, Puckle Street. There was a guy named Herbert Ford. He had a record store, Herbert Ford Music. And, Steve, he looked like a guy from Manfred Mann. The guy with the glasses?
Absolutely. Oh, sure.
Yeah, he looked like him. Anyway, for our listeners who am I talking about? Anyway, I went into the store very, very nervous, and I went up to him and said, can I ask you a favour? Could you play this song in your shop? And he looked at me like, because he used to have, it was in a main strip of all the shopping, and he had a speaker outside the store, so when you walked past, you could hear the music. And anyway, so he said, yeah, sure, I'll play the song. And he played the song, and it was like, I think the sweat was pouring off me. You have no idea the excitement of hearing this song. And at the end of it, he said to me, he goes, that was fantastic. He said, what do you want me to say? He said, at the moment, he goes, I'm promoting that fella up there. And in the store, hanging from the ceiling, all those big cardboard cutouts of the latest album was an album called Bob Dylan Masterpieces.
Oh boy!
And he said to me, "That's what's selling hot at the moment." He goes, "You certainly got a better voice than him." But he goes, "But where do you go from there?" And I didn't quite get it being so young. I thought, what's he talking about? But I understand now. People say, "Oh, Bob Dylan's got a horrible voice," but if you listen to his writing and his what he puts out, and then of course there's that little noise that he makes, and you go, "Whoa, I get it."
Yeah.
So you don't have to be the greatest singer; you have to be a singer that's great at singing. That's the way I put it. But anyway, we've gone off the track. But
no. Well, Joe, you're miles ahead of Bob Dylan. I'll tell you that as far as vocalization goes. And Stephanie, you're in another stratosphere when it comes to comparing you with Bob Dylan's
That's so funny.
Well, sometimes I think, some of the songs that, just to go forward with, some of the songs that have come out that Stephanie's singing, and also on the initiative, I thought to myself, some of the singers and vocals in there have really given, in my opinion, the best versions. I couldn't sing some of those songs. I mean, I've got songs on my solo album, 1,000 Miles, and I think I do a decent job. But some of the songs that are being done now, I mean, I don't think I'd ever come up with the versions that Stephanie has done, or like Nino has sang on these albums. They just
love
those
Nino.
songs. They own Nino. He owns those two songs. He sings them the best. So anyway, just to go through. Yeah. So basically, working with my first original band, I joined up with Peter Rector, The Secrets, and I was more guitarist in that band. Pete wrote most of the songs, but I did collaborate. We did write some songs, and that's where I started writing. I'd written a lot of songs, and trying to get them through was, one of those things that, I respect Peter so much and his writing ability that before I brought something to the table, I was really, I wanted it to be as good as, and he helped me collaborate. So that was a great learning curve.
Joe, you were the George Harrison of The Secrets. Could we say that? trying to get a song by Lennon and McCartney.
Yeah, well, it was like that. I mean, reading about that situation later, I connected with that. But look, it was good. And
Peter's great, by the way. So he's been on the show.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
And he's got a new album coming out soon. Just we'll plug him as well. He's just in the mixing stages too. So I'll tell you about that at a separate time.
Great.
So after that finished, life changes, and I sort of got into doing more like, I guess I was in a covers band. I did lots of weddings, and actually they used to call me the wedding singer because I had the big buff head like
Adam Sandler.
So I didn't find that funny when people say that to me. I'll be looking at them very seriously, like, what? But
Joe, did you wear the blue prom suit as well?
Jacket.
Okay, powder blue suit.
No.
Okay.
No, refused. But
no, that's not funny, Steve.
Anyway, fast forward, and then I started to get back into the writing, and that's when I eventually, as I mentioned before, lots of my friends were putting albums out and writing stuff. And with respect to my friends, I was saying, "What do you mean you're putting a CD out? Since when did you start writing and singing?" But I thought, they're doing it. And then someone said to me, "Joe, how come you're not doing it?" And I said, "Well, how come I'm not doing it?" So I said, "Let's get something together." And we did two songs. Look Into My Eyes and Where Did All the Good Times Go were the two songs we did. And the deal was, if they turned out good, let's do an album. If they don't turn out good, we're going to burn them. Okay, no one's ever going to hear them. And they turned out good. And then we did the whole album. And that album there has been something that changed my life because we mentioned Jeff Brown. He was the guy that, he heard the song. He got us onto You eventually. So many people started saying to me, "What, you write songs, do you?" And I didn't know you wrote, and things like that. Or as one fella came up to the gig and said to me, "Geez, I love those Elvis songs, that he did in the later years, those country 70s ones." And I said, "Which one did you like?" He goes, "The one that right here inside my heart." I said, "Well, I wrote that one." And he said, "Really? Really?"
Oh,
so
boy. Right.
It was, anyway, that gave me confidence to write more. And then we had some great reviews from Beverly Patterson on the initiative.
Yes,
and
boy, she really hit the nail on the head with you guys. Yeah. Wonderful reviews.
And it gave me confidence to get to the point where to say, well, actually, I think I'm a songwriter. So, and then, as I said, we pushed with the initiative, all those wonderful singers on the album, Fortunato, Tala Penrith, Marty, Natalie and Zach, of course, everyone on the album.
Natalie and Zach, you may know, right, Joe? Closely.
I know them very well.
Your daughter and son-in-law, sure. And your son was also involved.
Matt, we wrote with Matt. He plays guitar. Look, it was great to have them all, and they're all friends on the album. Everyone was a friend at the time, and we all worked so well together. Not just the singers, but the musicians that played on the albums were all colleagues, and they all gave their services. Andy Burns, of course. Andy Burns actually plays that harpsichord you hear on A Secret Smile. So he's contributed as well.
Wonderful. Yeah, yes. You know what? I'm looking at my notes here. Andrew Burns on harpsichord. I have it written down here.
And I guess that little thing that there. So anyway, basically, because of that, I've gone all the way to Los Angeles and finally collaborated with Preston Glass, who we've already mentioned. His work. So there's been a lot of information. I was only just the other day. I was thinking to myself, a lot of information's happened. A lot of songs are out there. I'm very privileged that if I look back at the catalogue, there's nothing I want to hide there. Everything's fantastic. I mean, on the Initiative, on 1,000 Miles, the Foot Canatu album, the old work with The Secrets, Marty Penrose's productions as well that I was involved with, and now this one here, which is like to me, it's like the cream on the cake. Is that how you put it?
Yeah.
And
cherry on top.
The cherry on top.
The icing on the cake, anything works.
Yeah, and it's encouraging because it just gets me excited. And so I was in Los Angeles and we were doing all that work, and then it's like at the end of the sessions, it was like, well, how do you feel, Joe? And it's like, I want to start the next project. That's how I'm excited. I want to get more of these songs out and do more work, and so. Now, but of course, we still need to enjoy these ones, of course.
Oh, absolutely. Now, 1,000 Miles, The Secrets, The Initiative. These people can get these all on iTunes and Amazon, the usual places.
Yeah, on iTunes, of course, on Amazon, CD Baby, all those places. You can order them there, but you can download them directly from iTunes, and available. Yeah.
Stephanie, Joe brought up a really interesting point, and I'm sure you found this yourself, Stephanie, that there might be just a line that you say to someone off the cuff, and the networking and the snowballing, it's so important. I think if people who, indie singers especially, if they have any doubt, should I mention this to somebody, wouldn't you say, yes, go for it, don't even think about mentioning it? Because isn't it something how things can snowball just from a simple line you might say to someone?
Yeah, absolutely.
About your craft?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I think it's just taking a step at a time and a day at a time, and just trying to meet everyone that you possibly can, and networking and seeing where it takes you, really.
And who knows what'll hit, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
How about yourself, Stephanie? Do you write, or do you have any aspirations to write the songs?
Yeah, I write quite a fair bit. I've written quite a fair bit of material, actually, but there's only a few things out that I've written. I've posted something, definitely a few years back now. It's a song called Something Magical. Then a few years later, down the track, it was another song called Running, and you'll be able to find them on my YouTube account. And look, all I can say is it's very different to the type of material I'm singing now. It was very poppy, very upbeat a few years back. Now these songs have taken me into a different direction. I wouldn't say a new direction, because I was always a fan of singing the type of genre that I am singing now. However, these songs have really challenged me. They've pushed me. They've brought out a different artist in me that I never thought I would ever be, and really have, I think, further improved my vocal ability and channeling in my emotions. So I definitely still write, and potentially even put a few of my songs maybe on the next album and collaborate with Joe, Preston. That would be fantastic.
Oh, that would be fantastic, is right.
Yeah, we're kind of already working on something, so don't tell anyone.
I shan't. Listeners,
you shan't.
Yeah, listeners, don't let this go any further than right here, okay, listeners?
Yeah, you can't tell anyone. It's just between us, okay, guys?
It's your duty, Steve. We're telling you, but you've got to decide with it. I'm giving you a poll there.
Yeah, exactly, about LSD. Right.
Yeah.
It's up to you, Steve, right?
Okay, it falls in my court. Everybody, you didn't hear it from me. All right, so we're gonna look for Something Magical and Running on YouTube, on Stephanie Angelini's YouTube channel, for the early years, we'll call it, okay?
Yes, definitely the early years. You could say that I didn't have a fringe back then. I might have had different colour hair. So,
Stephanie, I don't know if there's a person that doesn't look the same as they did back then. So
no. Change is a good thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And evolution's a good thing.
I think most importantly, if I just come in, most importantly is you can see Stephanie as a developing artist, she's progressing. I think it's what's important if you're going to stay in this industry, that all the most successful, all the best artists, the legendary artists, if you look at their careers, they've all progressed and everything got better. And that's not the right word, better, but it actually got more interesting.
It evolved.
They grew as an artist.
They grew, yeah.
And I think they're the ones that lasted. I mean, some careers were shorter than others, and some were longer than others. But when they were progressing, it was so interesting, and that's I think is wonderful to see progression in especially in Stephanie. When you hear those songs, I mean, they're terrific. And now you hear her doing what she's doing now, and you can see the development, which is important. I think so many artists make that mistake of, well, I know what to do. I have the formula now, so I'll just rehash it. And the public's pretty alert; they won't go for it.
Yeah, Well, Joe, how about with your songwriting, Joe? Now, collaborating with someone or solo? Can you even compare the two? Are they two different animals, or do you prefer one or the other, or do you love doing both?
Good question.
I enjoy all of it, really, but yes, it's a bit scary. I mean, when Preston said, when I wrote with Peter, that was different. Peter was, I was quite young, and Peter was, very prolific, and I was just coming up with a few ideas, and he would get them and work them into songs, and bingo, we'd have a tune, and I was so excited that my my idea was expanded on. Writing individually, the hard part about that, Steve, is you have to come up with the whole thing. You come up with an idea, then you've got to work out the middle part and the ending. It's like a script, and you want it to go somewhere, and that's sometimes when you need to become, I believe, a different person. Like I'll start something, and then come back to it, and come back to it in a different frame of mind. Like in the example of Secret Smile, if I had to finish that song, I would have to, come in and do the other part of it, the other part of the character in the song, because it's so hard to just continue it where you start. But now some of the songs, like Nino's Anymore, was just like a straight A to Z. The whole thing was just like, that's where it starts, that's where it ends up, and that was quite easy. But other songs have, had different ways. But with Preston, it was like, we're going to collaborate. We're a long way away, and we were submitting ideas to each other, and I was finishing off his bits, he was finishing off my bits. What I found really, really nice was that the ideas that I submitted to Preston, I couldn't really finish. At some stage I had maybe attempted to write and finish them, and they sort of just went back into I've got a little black briefcase, which all my ideas sit in, and some of them come out and get completed. So when it came to Preston, it was exciting for me to say, well, I wonder if he can finish this one that's been sitting here for a little while that I just can't get past that point. And that's when the magic happened. I think he come back, and I'm listening to these completions of songs. I'm going, wow, I never thought that was going to go there. So that was wonderful to do that. So now I want to get all the other stuff I've got in the case and throw them all to him and say, finish all these off, right?
I'll be back in a month, Preston.
A year.
But he's got that thing as well. He writes very differently. He'll come up with the title of a song, or someone will say something in conversation, and he'll say, give me a bit of paper. Or one night we're at a restaurant in Los Angeles, and get me a napkin, and he'll write down a line, and then he'll love that line, and he'll write a whole song around that line, which is really something pretty special if you can do that. But anyway, that's the deal there. So that was really nice to do that. I had another song recently, which I don't mention because it's not on the albums. This song Unexpectedly, which I put out as a single long ago. That was done. A fellow approached me. He'd written some poems that he was inspired by, and said, "Can you put this to music?" And the challenge was, well, I've never done that before. Someone, I'm usually singing something I'm feeling, and then music, I find the chords that match the emotion that I'm singing to. But someone else says to me, "Hey, I wrote this." So just rejig the lyrics, the poems a little bit, so they fitted musically, and that song turned out terrific. So that was another experience of having to write something in a different manner. But look, at the end of the day, I think it's the discipline. At the end of the day, you have to have that discipline. And if you're listening to the kind of music that you and me listen to, Steve, we set the bar pretty high. So I like it to be as good as the music that I like to listen to, if that makes any sense at all.
Makes perfect sense. How about you, Stephanie? When you write, do you you prefer solo, collaboration, or is it the same thing? It's kind of just two different animals.
Yeah, look, to be honest, I think in the beginning, before I met Joe, I was very much a solo writer. I didn't go to hardly anyone with my songs. I'd write privately in my room with my guitar in my hands and, just come up with a melody, as Joe would say, that was based on how I felt. And sometimes, for example, Running, that was created, I remember one night, and I had the chorus in my head, like, and like this thing just kept going over and over and over, and I'm like, I have to get my guitar out and write it. And all I had in my head was running, just that word, running. And so I based the song on running. I'm like, okay, well, what can I create? Well, how can I create a song from this title, Running? And then I came up with different concepts, and obviously, well, for me, it was about a love gone wrong almost. And I put it to that, and that's how I got the song. And I finished it within probably a few hours. And same thing with Something Magical. Same concept. But like Joe, I've got, oh my goodness, I've probably got about 100 songs left.
Oh my heavens!
Unwritten.
Wow.
Yeah, they're just sitting on my computer, left unwritten, and I've had a verse recorded, but I could never get to that next level because I just wasn't feeling it, or it just didn't pop in my head anymore, or I came up with another song and finished that one instead, and life gets in the way. So these songs.
That is so true. It's brilliant
true.
that you said that,
true.
Stephanie. Yeah, life does get in the way
true.
sometimes.
It's really true. I finished high school 18 years old, and then I went straight to uni, and I didn't give my music as much attention anymore. And here I am now, 25, and I've finished school and I'm working in the profession that I'm doing, and now it's the time for me that I can really pursue my music and really make things happen for myself. And don't get me wrong, when I was at uni, it was really hard not to do something further with the music, but it was just life and the universe telling me to hold on a little bit longer. There's going to be something better for you in the long run. Finish your schooling, do what you have to do, and then concentrate on what you have to do. But yeah, look, in the meantime, I wrote all these songs. Some were finished, some weren't. I was actually in the middle of recording an EP, to be honest, when I met Joe, and then he came up to me with these 10 brilliant songs, and I knew I had to take these on board and put on hold my EP, because at the end of the day, if I make another album, well, the songs on the EP I'm sure will be on the new album, but I think we might put a different twist and turn to them.
What, Stephanie and Joe, wasn't it John Lennon who sang "Life is what happens to you while you're busy making other plans"? So true, right?
It's so true. And he was also watching the wheels go round and round,
Yeah, yes, that's true.
Now, can I be interviewer for a second? Stephanie, can I ask you a question?
Please.
Yes, Joe.
Would you like to tell Steve what you were at uni, what you actually study, and what you actually do for a profession?
Uni is university, I'm assuming.
Yes, sorry,
Okay.
yes,
That's
university.
okay.
Us Aussies, we're just slanging.
Oh, you guys down under.
Oh my goodness, it's terrible. No, look, I studied 5 years to be a midwife.
My gosh, wow.
Yeah, so it's very different to music, and every time I tell someone in the music industry that I'm a midwife, they just turn to me and say, "Oh, you can sing songs while the mum delivers their baby." I said, "Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be worrying about singing when a head's coming out."
So now that
I'd be more concerned about the baby and the mum at this stage.
So we cannot expect a song from Stephanie named Plop, I'm assuming.
No.
No, okay. Oh my heavens! That could be the
Not if I've got anything to do with it.
No, that's it.
that was going to be the title of your EP, but I think you changed it, right? No.
Yes.
Oh my goodness!
How did you know?
I'm going straight to hell. I've decided anyway.
Stephen, your lovely wife also works in the medical industry.
What does she do?
Sue's a nurse. She's been a nurse for, oh my heavens, let's see, 43 years now.
Oh, good on her. High praises for nurses.
Oh.
I see the hard work they do, and they are amazing.
I could never be a nurse.
Amazing.
They are incredible.
It's challenging.
Nor a midwife, come to think of it.
Oh yeah, it's very challenging. Very challenging.
Yeah.
But very rewarding.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But,
yeah.
I tell this to my wife, and I'll say it to you, Stephanie. Whatever you're getting paid is not enough for what you do.
Thank you.
Really.
So even you guys there too in the States, because I think we're pretty much the same here too, unfortunately, in Australia. There you go. There's a similarity between Australia and
I'm
US.
telling you, we're all together in this universe.
We are. Yeah, beautiful.
Now, Stephanie, earlier you mentioned that you and Joe played the New Year's Eve. As you guys have been performing together, this is for both of you, really. Do you find like you're getting more and more in sync, where you don't even have to think too much about it?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I remember the first gig we did, and I was very, not that I was hesitant in choosing songs, but I didn't really know how Joe worked. So we were just kind of feeding off each other, and that's also how I knew that we would work really well together. Is we just gelled, and it instantaneously worked. And then when it came to New Year's Eve, and most recently when we just performed currently at the Remarka Social Club on the weekend, we just, sung song after song. Joe would sing a song, then I would sing a song. Our material is quite in sync now. And yeah, I'd say we're just quite similar like that. Which is good. We're both Aries, by the way, Steve. Now, I don't know if that has something to do with it.
Yeah. Ask Steve what sign he is.
Oh, Steve, are you an Aries?
I'm an Aries as well.
Oh,
see this?
Yay.
Wow.
Of course, you just had your birthday.
Uh-huh.
I wish you had your birthday recently. I should know
Well,
that.
Stephanie,
morning.
are you April 8th or April 9th?
I'm April 8th.
Yeah, as am I.
What?
How about
Really?
that? Yes, how about that?
There you go. Yeah,
And
birthday.
thank you. And Julian Lennon too, for those other music lovers. John Lennon's son was April 8th.
Oh, wow. There you go.
Mhm.
Amazing.
And Joe, yours was April
14th.
So look at this. We are and my
Look
wedding
at us,
anniversary. My wedding anniversary is April 13th. Everything is aligning.
Oh, my goodness.
Everything's aligning. Let's start our own show together, the three of us.
Yes.
I love it.
All
Let's
right.
do it.
Every week.
Aries for the week.
That's your weekly Aries. That's what we can call it.
Yeah,
Something
you're
like that.
weekly Aries.
No, how
Dude,
about
do you
you?
feel it?
Weekly Aries. Plop. No, all right. We'll skip out.
Plop.
We'll leave the plop out. Anyway, back to this excellent album. Now you mentioned, Stephanie, there are 10 songs. Joe and Stephanie, take whatever you like. But what are some of the other titles on the album? I'm putting you on the spot, probably, right?
Okay, Stephanie, do it.
Do you want me to?
I want you to make a sentence and
Yep.
use every song title in the sentence.
Oh, look.
In one paragraph.
I love doing that, so let's just see how well I do. I can't promise anything. It's nearly 10 o'clock in the morning. Haven't had coffee.
Aw.
All right, let's just say this album was the missing link.
One.
To my life. And when Joe approached me, I had a secret smile to it. And he did a bit of smooth talk along the way.
3.
To tell me to take a chance.
4.
You guys are great.
And-
Go ahead.
It was because of you,
5.
Joe, that I am sitting here today talking to the lovely Steve and talking about particular life lessons
6.
in my life. And I have to say, you should have seen me in LA. You had to watch me melt because
7.
I was pretty much in awe of the studio. And I've got 3 more to go, haven't I? Well, I can do this. Oh, yes. And then when I was in the studio, the first song I sung was I'm In.
8.
And, hang on, what are the last two remaining?
let me guess.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Sorry, what was that?
I was going to say, being you were stumbling there, I'll bet when you saw the lyrics, you knew that you were going to fall in love first with this
Oh
song.
my gosh!
9.
Yes. Fantastic. 9. And you know what I say to that, Steve?
Yes.
Amen to that.
10.
Perfecto. I think, Joe, I think we had the liner notes all set.
We had the notes and play that show we were going to do. There you go. That's
Perfect.
The Airy Show. That's what we do.
Airy show, yeah.
We already have a segment. It's called, make a sentence and mention a particular team.
You know what? That would be so cool. That would be great. That's a new party game.
Tell that I did anyone. No one else is doing that, right? Okay. No.
Joe, Stephanie, trademark that. You've got a new party game.
Absolutely.
Trademark the idea.
That's funny.
Now, I know how. Well, I know only because I've read things, but post-production, I'm assuming, can be quite tedious. Is there a general release date or something? A month or year that you're hoping for this album to be out?
Oh, we'd love it to be out now, but
yeah. So we all would.
Yeah.
Our colleague Preston is the final mixes were completed just a few weeks ago. So now Preston has promised to do his best to try and gain a bit of attention over there, as we're so far away, and he's actually over there. So we're hoping that we'll get a few bites, and that'll create some opportunities. I mean, the most wonderful thing would be the whole album to come out as a total. But at the moment, even if we can get some songs in particular highlighted in any other genre, whether it's movie soundtrack or whether it's even as a single. But we decided ourselves we'd push A Secret Smile a little bit because Stephanie performed the song live in Los Angeles, and that video went around and several thousand people tuned in to watch it, and they're all commenting. So we thought, it's out. So why don't we push that a bit more?
It was bigger than you, right? I mean, it just took on a life of its own.
It did. It exceeded, I think, more than our expectations.
So we chose to. Well, look, that's out. Let's push that a bit, and we made a little preview of that, which you can see on YouTube. And then we've done some interviews on some other shows as well, and so that's the song that we've been pushing. And then just recently on one of the shows, the radio internet shows, in South Africa, their Fame Music song appeared this week at number 6. First weekend.
Congratulations. Top 10 already.
Yeah.
First week.
Yeah.
On their playlist. So the song's not released, obviously, so it's all on number of requests and popularity. But look, that's exciting, and we hope that it goes a bit higher than that. So to answer the question, as soon as we can, we want to get it out. And sometimes we get very, very fidgety where we just want let's just put it out. But it's exciting too to put out Secret Smile, get a lot of feedback on that. The song I'm In, which you're playing exclusively, we've put a little bit of a bite out, just at like 10 or 20 seconds on a little video that we put out with Preston and Stephanie at the piano. So we just, even that, people say, we want to hear more.
Oh, yeah, so many people.
Steve, we're not the first ones. It's been done a million times, but that little teaser thing is quite exciting when people say, we want to hear more. Can we hear the rest of the song?
That's why it's called a teaser, really, right?
Yeah.
I guess when you think of it.
Yeah.
So, Stephanie, we're enjoying that. And also that helps us cope with the fact that the album's it's going to take a little bit of a while to get it out there to everybody. So we'll be patient, and we'll just hopefully everyone else will be patient as well, and we'll put out little videos and things along the way, and hopefully keep people interested enough so that when the album comes out, they'll go, yep, I'm going to buy that right now.
Yep.
Well, rather than just give a little teaser of 20 or 30 seconds, you two have been so kind that you are going to allow us to listen to the full version of I'm In.
Yes.
Why don't we listen to why don't we listen to it, and then I have once again I'll put my lab coat on. We'll dissect that as well.
Love it. Sounds great, Steve.
There's no doubt our music's right. Somehow we make such good There's times when things happen on their own. I had never thought of you. Now here we are becoming one, 'cause fate brought us together. No need to wonder if I'll be true, though love is a gamble I'm betting on you. Oh, I'm in and you're in, and we're in this together. Put your hand in my hand, I'll follow you, 'cause I'm in and you're in. Yes, we're in this forever, so count me in as a part of this dream come true. No need to wonder if I'll be true, though love is a gamble I'm betting on you. Oh, I'm in and you're in, and we're in this together. Put your hand in my hand, I'll follow you, 'cause I'm in and you're in. Yes, we're in this forever, so count me in as a part of this dream. I'm in and you're in, and we're in this together. Put your hand in my hand, I'll follow you, 'cause I'm in and you're in. Yes, we're in this forever, so count me in as a part of this dream come true.
We made such good harmony. Oh my goodness! I mean, just again. I sound like a broken record, pun intended, I suppose. But Stephanie, your vocalizing is simply incredible. Joe, yours and Preston Glass's lyrics. I mean, and I love the double meaning. You know, we made such good harmony. You know, of course, in life and just in music in general. You've got to be proud of this song, Stephanie.
Oh, I am over the moon with this song. I remember hearing it for the first time and I instantly fell in love with it. I have to say I connect with this song very deeply. So I think that's why for me it's one of those songs that's a highlight. And again, another little secret, it was the first song that we recorded in LA.
Really? Well, that was the song's about commitment and no. You committed.
It's a great way of looking at it.
I'm in,
That's
Joe.
it.
I'm in. After this
I'm in,
song, you
that's it.
decided
I'm in.
you're in.
Don't worry, I always use that pun with Joe and Preston. I'm in, guys. I'm in.
Oh, see, it wasn't an original joke. I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. Don't worry, it's an Aries thing, Steve. We're
Yeah.
on the same
Okay.
wave.
All right.
I
Perfect.
love it. It's great.
No, but I mean, oh my heavens. There's no doubt our music's right. And even I like the. Stephanie, I don't know if Joe ever mentioned this to you, but I'm a former English teacher, so I'm also a word guy.
Oh, okay.
And
Sure.
just the way that you sing the word somehow, these little things that aren't little things, you know, it's just, you sing it perfectly. It reflects just the feeling of the song. You ask if I'll stay beyond tonight. You know, is this thing going to last? Is this going to be it's just Joe, Preston, Stephanie, brilliant.
Thank you.
I also, with your voice, and I've said this before, and we've heard it from these two songs, you have such a powerful voice, yet you can just bring it down and be so vulnerable in your vocals. I mean, does that come naturally to you? Is it something you need to practice, or can you just bring it right down? It's tremendous.
Another great question, Steve. Look, when I was younger, to be honest, I when I would sing on stage, everyone always used to say to me, "Oh, your voice is so powerful. We can hear you from the back of the room." And now I've learnt over the years a lot of light and shade in my vocals, and I know how to pick when to put light and shade, and sometimes it just comes naturally where I don't even think about it, and I'm so in tune with the song that it just comes out like that, and then I give power where I think it needs to happen. And also there's another track on the album called Life Lessons, which is just beautiful as well, and that one there is a great example of a lot of light and shade, and then really giving it that power in the chorus and where it deserves. I think power is definitely not good all the time in a song in terms of consistently. I think there does need to be some variation and light and shade. It just makes the song a lot more interesting, and it makes the song unique, and it makes the song have an emotion, I guess you could say. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not breaking any new ground when I say this, but it is often what you don't say or what you don't project that makes all the difference in the world.
Exactly. And sometimes even just a whisper does it. There's a few whispers there in some of those songs, and you'll see what I mean, I guess, when you hear them more. But yeah, they just give it a different tone, different texture, bit of life. And
that secret smile too, to go back. I mean, you know, who hasn't kind of like looked across the room and there's just that little secret it's oh gosh, I just get, like I said, chills thinking about it. Yeah, really, goosebumps. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
really.
I think we've all been there.
Yeah, and that's why it's, oh my gosh, it's so...
Exactly that.
Yeah.
That's when I wrote that. That's exactly that emotion you just described, that glance. She looking at me? No. Yeah. That's a very amazing feeling if it happens.
Yeah.
Two songs spurned from that experience. Look Into My Eyes and Secret Smile all came from one experience. You know, when you're standing up, trying not to look into my eyes again, that sort of, you know, I can see you checking me out, but
you're going to do something about it.
And the Secret Smile was, I think, another verbal way of interpreting that same feeling. That's another thing too. Is sometimes with songs, you get on a particular roll with something, and you'll write, you know, 3 or 4 things all around that same emotion, and then all of a sudden that'll be it. But it's great. I mean, as I said, I didn't realise it until the other day that one emotion is spurred on 2, I think, pretty decent songs. You know?
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. Joe, I wouldn't be putting you on the spot, I hope, but if I ask you to tell us the musicians that accompanied you and Preston and Stephanie on the album.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Okay. I'll start. Stephanie might come and help me if I forget anybody.
You know what? Let's do it like a story. No, I'm just kidding. In a few sentences. Just kidding.
Segment 2.
We'll have to write a song soon about it, Steve.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
It'll go on the plot. It'll go on the plot EP, Stephanie.
Okay. Well, different musicians played on different tracks on the albums, and they don't play on every track. But one fella who played bass on at least 3 or 4 of the songs, Larry Antonino, who, as a bit of trivia, starred in one of our favourite movies, That Thing You Do, the Tom Hanks movie.
One of the all-time great movies.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see the other day where they got back together?
Yes. You know what? I thought of you, Joe, and I should have shot you a text. Yep.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, he's a fantastic bassist, and he's in that movie. He's the Wolfman. He's the right at the end there. So I was so excited when he arrived at Private Island. I didn't actually know that was him. Then someone else pointed it out to me, and so he played. He's a fine musician. He played on some of the tracks.
He's amazing.
The drummer on the tracks are Ricardo, who's a fantastic drummer, travels the world, played with Santana and all sorts of various musicians.
Wow,
he did
how
drums.
cool is that?
Yeah.
3 or 4 of the tracks. Preston plays piano on a lot of the tracks. I play guitar on some of the tracks. Ray Parker Jr. plays guitar on one particular track and does a little vocal line on a track called talk.
Did you hear that, listeners? Ray Parker Jr. is also on the album.
Very privileged.
Yeah,
Oh,
so that was really cool.
How great is that?
Craig Thomas.
Craig Thomas on saxophone. Now, Craig tours and plays with Olivia Newton-John.
Yeah.
So many touring acts. Right?
He's always somewhere.
Yes.
That's another name you probably see a million times in credits, right?
Yeah.
Craig Thomas, yeah.
Yeah, so he's a fine musician. Robert Mullins, who's a piano player, playing on some of the tracks, and he's another guy that is involved in a lot of Grammy-nominated music over the years. A fine musician as well.
Yeah, amazing.
Have I missed anybody?
Andy Burns.
Andy Burns,
In A Secret Smile.
Yeah, and
harpsichord.
Played the harpsichord and also played a bit of organ on a track called "Watch Me Melt." So Andy played. Andy's my piano guy. He played piano on nearly all the Initiative songs as well as the 1,000 Miles tracks, and he's just a really cool, great piano player. So he was nice to have him add a few little touches onto this latest project.
And Joe, we forgot a few more people.
Yeah.
You included.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mandica guy.
You know, Joe, you stop being humble for 2 seconds because you play a mean guitar, acoustic guitar. Right, Stephanie? You back me up on this.
I'm backing you up 120%.
Well, thank you very much. It's such an honour. I didn't play as much on Stephanie's album as on the previous works, but yeah, I'm playing the guitar and that sitar on Secret Smile. Also on a track called Missing Link, I'm doing guitar work and a bit of guitar on Smooth Talk, and this album's actually not a really big guitar orientated album. Also, it's a lot more piano and
drums and bass,
the strings and stuff. Preston did all the string arrangements, Preston Glass, so terrific work there.
I just want to mention as well, I consider vocals as well as an instrument, so we've also got we've got Angel Rose as well, who does backup harmonies on a few of our tracks, and she's just this soulful singer. She's just absolutely beautiful.
Isn't she on Amen?
Yeah,
I believe
is.
so,
You'll
right?
get to hear her, yeah. And another track called Amen to that, and it just gives it that punch that the song deserves. And also you have Brandon Watts, who features in Because of You.
Yep.
We can't forget Brandon. He's amazing. He's actually got his own thing going on there in the States, and he's got a great track out as well. And
Steve, check out a song called You've Got the Love. It's really cool. If you like Sam Cooke.
I love Sam Cooke.
Yeah,
You've
and
got
this guy
the love.
knows how to perform. He's amazing. He's very good.
I'll send you the link.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's about it, I think.
Oh, that's not about it, because there's one more person who plays an instrument well, or uses an instrument well, and that's Stephanie Angelini. Your voice is an instrument, Stephanie. You put it so well. Voice is such an instrument. Wow.
Yeah. Lots of, oh my goodness, lots of... how do I put it? Training for that, for the voice sometimes.
Yes, when did you start singing, by the way, Stephanie? How young were you?
Oh, man. Look, singing lessons 13 years old, but I started singing from when I was about 5 and just progressed from there. And it wasn't until I reached high school where I actually began to learn the violin. And it was something I always wanted to do. And then eventually I don't know, I wasn't into it anymore and I wasn't practicing. And then I said to my mum, can I try singing lessons? She goes, sure. Tried my first singing lesson and I loved it. Didn't look back, and I knew that's what I wanted to do. And, yeah, here I was, this little girl dancing around in my lounge room to having my first singing lesson to being here with Joe and yourself. So it's really good. Really nice.
Parents get it right every once in a while, don't they, Stephanie?
They do. My parents are beautiful.
Right?
I have to give them a huge shout out. They're just amazing. They've supported me through thick and thin. They're always there at my gigs. My dad's on there doing his engineering, doing some sound engineering at my gigs. My mum's there promoting me. My brother's taking photos, and my little brother sings along, and it's just fantastic.
So, oh my gosh, well, you'll see this too, I'm sure, Stephanie, as you go on, and Joe, you've probably seen this. As life goes on with me, I look back and things happen. I say, son of a gun, my mom and dad were right.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
I always used to doubt as a teenager, like, well, they don't know what they're talking about. And 9 out of 10 times, boy, they had it right.
They do, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. They make a lot of sense, my parents, when they speak, and I have the utmost respect for them, and they love Joe. They think he's amazing, and especially with what he's helping me with and guiding me in this fickle industry that we call music. So it's nice.
Speaking of music, I couldn't look myself in the mirror, Joe, if I didn't. Now my loyal listeners know this, but everybody else, our theme song for Classic Pop Culture was written and performed by Joe Mandica. Joe, for those who may not realize what I'm talking about, I'm going to play it right now, and then I have a couple questions for you about that. Okay, Joe?
Classic pop culture. It's classic pop culture. Hosted by Steve, Ludwig, and Ludwig. Classic pop culture. It's classic pop culture. Classic pop culture.
Classic pop culture. Joe, it is a perfect. It's psychedelic. It's cool. Your voice, you do a little high thing with your voice. Tell me how you did that, please.
Look, I just was playing around.
Here he goes,
my
Stephanie.
my
Here he
Mac
goes
computer.
again. Oh, I was just kind of doing nothing. And
I was just,
yeah.
yeah.
There's more to it than
Well,
that, Joe.
I thought to myself, okay, look, I wanted to do suggest a theme song. I mean, depending on if you wanted to like it, or maybe you might use it on the show, or you might play it just once. Mm-hmm. And I thought that'd be nice because you do so much for me, and I appreciate it. And I thought I'll do something for you.
Well, I love you for it, Joe. It's appreciated. Well, it's
Go on.
It opens the show, and you have a YouTube channel, everybody. Those of you who probably know, a Planet Ludwig YouTube channel. I've pulled about 75 interviews now that's on YouTube, and Joe's theme song opens every YouTube channel presentation as well.
Yeah, we're brainwashing everybody, okay?
Yeah, he's got hidden messages.
Yeah.
Aries.
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah.
Aries, yeah.
Look, I just want to do something. Look, originally a song on my 1,000 Miles album called "Looking for a Girl." That's the psychedelic song. I thought Steve likes psychedelic.
Love it.
What can I do? So there's a little bit of instrumental thing there. Yeah, Matthew's playing the guitar on it, and I thought I'll try and cut a little. How long can a theme song go for? 30 seconds or something. I think I'll just try and cut it down to that. And then I started just singing classic pop culture with your host Steve Ludwig. I think I was reading one of your flyers or something, and it all fit in. I just recorded it just on my computer here, and then I found out that by speeding up the vocal and things, I got this little sort of other voices in the background as if they were like little alien voices, and I know you like all that sort of
Yep.
that stuff. So anyway,
well, thank you,
and
Joe.
I found a bit of psychedelic type phasing type noise, so you're on a trip somewhere. Mm-hmm. And it all came together, so I thought I'll send it to you, and I was really pleased that you liked it, and even more pleased that it's the theme song now for your show.
I loved it, and actually, when people, listeners, when you come on the website, it's also what you hear when you click on the website. So, and thank you to Matt as well for playing guitar on that. I appreciate it, Matt. Thank you. Shout out to Matt.
Yeah.
Well, I can't tell you both how I just loved speaking with you guys. Stephanie, Joe told me, Joe and Morella told me what a great person you are, and I kind of knew it just from hearing you sing. I can get kind of a feeling, and from your posts on Facebook. But speaking to you, I mean, you're even a greater person than I could have imagined. It was such a pleasure to meet you over the airways, but hopefully someday we can do it in person. But you're just a really wonderful person, and it was a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you so much, Steve. Likewise, and I'd be happy to talk to you again on the show anytime.
Great. Yes, I hope this is not the last time. I hope this is the first of many visits from you.
Absolutely.
Especially after
absolutely.
your album comes out and Joe's. This album is complete. Joe, I love you and thank you so much for coming on as well.
Thanks, Steve. No, it's always nice to hear your voice.
And the pleasure's always mine. Now, Stephanie, being this is your first appearance, Joe has done this. A couple of things. First of all, may I have your permission after we sign off to play Running and Something Magical?
Yes, absolutely.
We're going to hear those then. Good. I'll get the audio for those. But you have one more task to do here. You're a first-time guest. I want you to choose any song in the world that you would like us to go out with. We're going to go out with that song and follow it with something magical and running. So,
sure.
What song would you like to finish off with?
Sure. This is an easy one for me, Steve, because it's my absolute favourite song in the whole entire universe. And I shouldn't say that, should I? That was my new album, like me.
A Secret Smile. No.
It better be either a Secret Smile or I'm in, Stephanie, or else you're in trouble.
Oops, hello. Oh, no, look, obviously A Secret Smile, I think, has a lot of traits in it that this song I'm about to request has, and I think that's why I connected with it so deeply. It's a song from Kate Bush, and she's one of my favourite singers as well, and it's called Wuthering Heights. And I think it was a big hit back in the day. It was number one for about 6 or 8 weeks. And it's a great tune, a great classic, and I love the instrumentation. I love Kate's vocals on it, and I'd love it if you could play it. That would be great.
I think we're going to do that right now. Kate Bush is coming up, courtesy of Stephanie Angelini, followed by Something Magical and Running. Stephanie and Joe, once again, thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure speaking with you. I can't wait to speak with both of you again real soon.
Likewise, Steve. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Steve.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Out on the wily, windy moors, we roll and fall in green. You had a temper like my jealousy, too hot, too greedy. How could you leave me when I needed to possess you? I hated you, I loved you too. Bad dreams in the night. It told me I was going to lose the fight. Leave behind my wuthering heights. It's clear, it's me, Kathy. I've come home. I'm so cold. Let me in your window. It's clear, it's me, Kathy. I've come home. I'm so cold. Let me in your window. Oh, it gets dark. as they shine in your blue eyes. A feeling arrives I can't deny. A movie star who's traveled near and far. You're pretty perfect the way you are. You're beautiful, oh, so wonderful. There's something so beautiful, wonderful, magical about you. Cameras flash from your screaming fans, taking every shot with you they can. If I could share a moment with you, I'd finally believe wishes come true. You're beautiful, oh, so wonderful. There's something so beautiful, wonderful, magical about you. About you. There you go, stealing the show with your smile and little jokes. I can see we'll never meet. I guess I'll see you only through the movie screen. I can see we'll never meet. I guess I'll see you only through the movie screen. But you're still beautiful. Oh, and wonderful. There's something so beautiful, wonderful, magical about you. You're beautiful. Oh, so wonderful. There's something so beautiful, wonderful, incredible. There's something so beautiful and magical. There's something so beautiful and wonderful. There's something so magical about you. About you. This is not what I need from you right now, my friend. You're back and I can tell you I am not impressed. You left me your back, now I don't believe it. What do you want from me? Stop for a minute, you will never have me. I'm not that naive. But wait, hold up, you're doing it again. You take me by the hand